directions. Buckle up, drive safe, and with Time Saver Traffic, I'm Angie Berlier.
This report is sponsored by Discover. When you hear a good deal, it's natural to do a double take. That's what you might do when you hear Discover will automatically double all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
At News Radio Uncle Henry Show, weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you. I appreciate very much you listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Once again, here we are together. Just me and you, the two of us here, trying to figure out what is going on. What is going on in the world around us? It is so hard. It's getting harder and harder figuring out what is going on in the world around us. So much weird, just everything, people acting out of their minds, the government doing things that is just irritating, and some of the things you hear out of that weird, and like the UFO stuff. And so just what's going on? You can help me figure it out. 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. We've got numerous things to get into on the Uncle Henry Show today. Numerous news items. Also got voicemail messages. Who knows? Might even get some old-fashioned electronic mail message. You never know. Here on the Uncle Henry Show, but 251-479-2723. Now, before I jump into anything else, there was something somebody called about and left me a message over the Memorial Day weekend. The caller, John, wanting to know about the tunnels.
Uncle Henry, this is John in West Mobile. I just wanted to give you an FYI. Congressman Figures, and I suppose his construction company, is making plans to destroy both tunnels whenever the toll bridge gets finished. I just thought you might want to bring up this topic. Take care.
All right. You and John, take care of yourself. I appreciate very much you wishing me to take care. I wish you to take care as well. Now, on the destruction of the tunnels story, Fox 10 did talk to the Port Authority. And the Port Authority says no plans. Let's listen together. Here is Cameron Taylor of Fox 10 reporting on that whole idea of the destruction, the removal of the Bankhead and the Wallace tunnels.
The Mobile Port Authority saying it is not pushing for the removal of tunnels. This, as Congressman Shamari Figures touts, federal legislation involving tunnel removal. Congressman Figures said last week he secured changes to the Build America 250 Act to allow federal funding for the removal or modification of tunnels that restricts ship operations. Congressman Figures saying the largest container ships cannot use the entire Port of Mobile because of the tunnel that runs under the Mobile River. A port spokesman telling Fox 10 News, quote, "We appreciate Congressman Figures' continued efforts to support infrastructure improvements at the Port of Mobile. At this time, we are not aware of any plans to remove the George Wallace Tunnel or the Bankhead Tunnel." The $580 billion bill, which covers transportation funding for the next 5 years, now awaits a vote by the House.
All right. So no plans currently. First of all, don't be, if you're a tunnel lover, and some people have been raised to love the tunnels for whatever reason. If you're a tunnel lover, don't be too worried. Don't lose sleep over the idea that somebody somewhere is talking about getting rid of these tunnels. In order to get rid of the tunnels, first you'd have to build the bridge. And they are still trying to figure out how they're going to get that done. Now all these different elected officials keep claiming that they've figured it out. And if I can just live long enough, one day I'll be able to either drive across this new fantasy bridge that they're fantasizing about. If I can just make it to like 110 or 115 years of age, maybe I can get somebody to drive me across there. But don't lose sleep over it, John. Don't worry about it, John. Because so far, first they've got to figure out how to get the bridge built. And that's still, even we got all our senators talking about it. Katie Britt talks about it. Senator Coach Tuberville talks about it. All the different Congress people. I've had Congress people come in here years ago and promise me that it would be built. I think it would have been finished by next year, based on stuff politicians have told me about in the past. Don't worry about it. It's still many years away, and people have been promised that they would be able to have a way to go across the bay without paying a toll. There would be an enormous backlash against getting rid of the tunnels. So just don't lose sleep over it. The idea of losing the, and by the way, there are people that grew up loving the tunnels, like the Bankhead Tunnel. Here's a voicemail that came in many, many years ago from somebody that has a deep affection for the Bankhead.
Hey, Uncle Henry, you ever hold your breath when you're going through the Government Street Tunnel?
No.
You know, I can remember as a kid, especially when we went on vacation, there'd be a whole bunch of kids in the back seat. And I think it was a way of the parents just to kind of shut the kids up for a minute. But when we go through the tunnel, they'd say, all right, we're going through the tunnel. Let's see who can hold their breath all the way through the tunnel.
Yeah, and by the way, that was a wonderfully effective way of getting the kids to be quiet.
And they go through the tunnel.
That was before before you could give your kid like a smartphone and say, here, fry your brain. Fry your brain with this.
And we'd take a big old deep breath, and, you know, we'd hold our breath, and about halfway through, you know, we would sit there and look at the speedometer, and every time my dad went, you know, up the tunnel to go out of it, he'd kind of slow down a little bit, and we started waving our hands. We couldn't shout because then we'd have to stop and breathe. And every once in a while, as soon as we came out of the tunnel, it was just, oh boy, it's a big old sigh of relief. And, you know, I still do that today when I'm going through the tunnel. Now that I can drive, when I go through the tunnel, I'll hold a big breath, see if I can make it the entire time. And now that I can drive, you know, I go as fast as I can. And it always makes me mad when I get behind somebody doing like 15 miles an hour, and I'm laying on the horn and I'm trying to get their attention, and they probably think I'm a crazy man.
Right.
Because I'm trying to make them drive faster because I'm holding my breath.
Right.
Going through the tunnel. You know, every once in a while, I think that tunnel's going to collapse in, and I think,
right,
well, maybe all these years of holding my breath is going to help so that I can drive out and I won't drown. You ever hold your breath going through the tunnel? I still do. Talk to you later.
All right, sir. People are they have that bond with the tunnels. I don't think we have to worry about them knocking the tunnels down.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
In Mobile, an earlier accident, I-10 eastbound on the causeway has cleared. All lanes reopened and delays are working out. Now Now, we're still watching a crash on the I-65 southbound on the Delta Bridge, and it's at the Middle Bridge. It's causing a pretty heavy delay. And a new accident spot on I-65 northbound just past Moffett Road, and a crash in Mobile, Alabama 59 at Hammond Street. Buckle up, drive safe, and with time-saver traffic, I'm Angie Berlier.
This report is sponsored by Beau Rivage. Riverdance 30, the new generation, is celebrating 30 years with innovative choreography and a fresh cast of performers that's sure to delight both.
YouTube viewers, see that there's a small, tiny number of people looking in on YouTube. Thank you, small viewers. Bamba Big Man, hello to you. Richard Harvey, very crafty, scheming guy. Larry Morting, hello to you. Excalibur One Force. KP of shirtbutter.com. I would say 3 nights a week I'm wearing shirtbutter.com t-shirts. In fact, I think I wore the I wore the Bear Bryant shirt out and about. Over the weekend, I wore the Bear Bryant shirtbutter.com t-shirt to Greer's St. Louis Market, where I was going to purchase fried chicken. "69-year-old Chris of West Loxley." Now let's see. Ben Griffin, the young Ben Griffin. A reminder that sometimes even young people can somehow hear the show. Now let me say, I'm just looking ahead, looking at the this, that, and the other. All right, going to be back on the radio here in about 2 minutes. What can I tell you? Is there anything I can tell you? If you've got anxiety, what dog breeds are the best to help reduce your anxiety? This is according to who came up with this list? Oh, a certified dog trainer, which could be anybody, has come up with a list of the dog breeds that are best if you suffer from anxiety and need a dog to relieve your anxiety. They say Labrador Retriever, Golden Retriever, Poodles, and Greyhounds. They say, surprisingly, retired racing greyhounds can be very calm at home. Says, yes, they do need exercise, but they're extremely laid back and form close bonds with 1 or 2 people, making them strong companions for anxious people. But I would think that if you had anxiety and you owned a greyhound and it ever got away from you, that would be really high anxiety. How are you going to catch one? You're not going to catch it. All right, going to go back on the radio and talk to the radio listener here. In just a moment.
Meteorologist Matt Barron, time for this iHeartRadio station.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
Why are conspiracy theories spreading? This week on Red Pilled America, we conclude our 3-part series on the man that made and lost a fortune with conspiracy theories, Alex Jones. Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app. That's Red Pilled America, a storytelling show.
This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
This is the Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the show. I appreciate it very, very much. We have news headlines coming up in 10 minutes. So if you can just endure this segment of the show, you will get the reward of multiple news headlines. And you will be able to see what is going on in the world around you. Telephone number if you'd like to call the show, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, UncleHenry at iHeartMedia.com. That's UncleHenry at iHeartMedia.com. Now I got a voicemail. I'm going to go right to this voicemail. This was phoned in early this morning from the Snake Trapper. Now, yesterday, we had a listener ask the Snake Trapper a question about birds. And unfortunately, if that listener is listening, I want you to know, sir, that the Snake Trapper has not yet responded to that question. He may not have listened to yesterday's show or its podcast and may not have an answer yet. But here, this is a message phoned in today by the Trapper of Snakes. And I've been thinking about trapping snakes a lot more lately, not because I have a bunch of them around, but I've seen two videos in the last 2 days of RFK Jr. catching snakes. Now, the first video, I think a lot of people saw him. He was handling, I think he picked up a couple of snakes. But then I saw a video just a couple of hours ago of RFK Jr. catching a rattlesnake that I guess was at his house somewhere on the West Coast, and I think his wife was videoing it, but it was RFK Jr. catching a rattlesnake. So anyway, which I'm sure the people that don't like RFK Jr., I'm sure videos of him catching snakes probably drives them even more nuts, I love the idea of people being driven nuts by RFK Jr. I don't know why. I just do. Because he doesn't drive me nuts, and I like it when he drives other people nuts. So I hope there's more RFK Jr. snake catching videos all summer long. But anyway, back to this. Here's a fresh message from the Snake Trapper, phoned in this morning.
Hey, Uncle Henry, Snake Trapper. Hey, man, yesterday, 9 o'clock, I was at work, Uncle Henry, and my wife sent me a picture and a text. It was a big old spider, Uncle Henry. She said it was the second one she had come across this week. It's probably from all the rain we've been getting. But anyway, Uncle Henry, I texted her back and told her that when I got home, I would be burning the house down. She knows I don't like spiders, Uncle Henry. But
and we've heard before from Snake Trapper. The longtime listener that has paid attention to Snake Trapper knows that Snake Trapper does not like spiders. That he has a phobia. Now, he'll pick up a snake and has been bitten by numerous venomous snakes. He'll pick those up, but spiders, he doesn't want the spider. He can handle the snake, but not the spider. And I've been blessed by the Lord that whatever that is, I don't have that phobia about spiders. Thank the Lord. Now, I don't want to be bit by one, and I don't want them crawling around on me. I'm not the type of guy that is going to say, "Oh, let me handle that tarantula. Just hand that over." No, I'm not going to. You can keep the tarantula, but I don't. I'm not deathly afraid of them. Thank the Lord. But anyway, Snake Trapper does not like spiders.
She knows I don't like spiders, Uncle Henry. But anyway, she told me she handled the situation and that ain't no need in losing sleep, that it was just a harmless wolf spider. Uncle Henry, I texted her back and told her that I know the wolf spider is harmless, but it will make me run into trees and walls. Oh, Henry, I do not like them. I've been working on it and have gained no progress in my arachnophobia. I reckon I'm going to live with it for the rest of my life. But I will say, Uncle Henry, she is my American hero. Even wrote a song, kind of Budweiser theme. It goes, real American heroes. Today, we salute you, wife that takes care of spiders. Kill all them spiders. You saved a man that will fiercely battle a diamondback rattlesnake, but run from the spider. Got to get away. You have a good day, my buddy.
All right. Well, thanks, Snake Trapper. Thank you. It's nice to hear the joy in your voice, that you have this life and this lifestyle where you capture the rattlesnakes, and yet you're singing about your wife because your wife is not afraid of the spiders. You know, it makes me wonder how much of this is baked into us and how much of it is learned in terms of phobias and things like that. How much of our phobias are we taught versus they're just a natural reaction that we have? I don't know the answer, but I wonder about it because you see in modern times, you'll see women depicted in media as being afraid of bugs, afraid of mice, where they will jump up on a chair. If there's a mouse spotted, they'll jump up on a chair, they'll scream. Same with bugs. Go running away, run out of a room because there's a bug in there. I have trouble believing that it's always been that way. When you think about it, you think about the type of people that conquered the West of this country, the frontiers people. Do you think the women during the times of Little House on the Prairie were afraid of a bug or a spider or a rat? It's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine. Now, maybe there's an episode. Maybe I'll need to go watch some Little House on the Prairie episodes and see if the women on that show were jumping up on chairs screaming because there was a spider or something. I don't know that there were. But I wonder how much of these phobias are learned and taught versus just something that you're born with. I don't know the answer to it. I guess the next time I run into a smart person, I'll ask them. All right, we have more. We have actual news headlines coming up. So I know you're tuning in thinking, is there ever going to be anything about the news on here? Yeah. News headlines are coming up. And then more Uncle Henry Show. More Uncle Henry Show coming up after the news break.
Time saver traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
In Mobile, an earlier accident, I-10 eastbound on the causeway, has cleared. All lanes reopened and delays are working out. Now, we're still watching a crash on the I-65 southbound on the Delta Bridge, and it's at the middle bridge. It's causing a pretty heavy delay. And a new accident spot on I-65 northbound just past Moffett Road, and a crash in Mobile, Alabama 59 at Hammond Street. Buckle up, drive safe, and with Time Saver Traffic, I'm Angie Berlier.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement. Batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Supreme Court could rule at any time on whether Alabama can use its congressional map. A 3-judge federal court again blocked the map, claiming it discriminates against black voters. Judges ordering the state to use a court-imposed map which used race to create a second majority black district. State Attorney General Steve Marshall appealing to the High Court, saying there's nothing objectionable about the state's map that's been in place for decades. Alabama holds a special primary in 4 congressional districts if the state succeeds. 2 people arrested after a high-speed chase involving a stolen truck out of Mississippi ended in Mobile County. The sheriff's office says the driver intentionally rammed multiple sheriff's vehicles before being taken into custody along with his passenger. It's been 25 years since 9/11. Tunnel to Tower Steel Across America tour visiting Mobile tomorrow at the USS Alabama Battleship Memorial Park. I'm Angie Norvell.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Fox News, I'm John Saucier. President Trump at the cabinet meeting in the White House answering reporters' questions about whether the U.S. would accept a short-term deal to allow Iran and Oman to control the Strait of Hormuz.
We're going to watch over it. We'll watch over it, but nobody's going to control it. That's part of the negotiation that we have. They would like to control it. Nobody's going to control it. It's international waters, and Oman will behave just like everybody else, so we'll have to blow them up. They understand that. They'll be fine.
The recovery efforts underway at Nippon Dinaware Packaging Plant in Longview, Washington, after a chemical explosion of an industrial tank. Longview Fire Department Battalion Chief Matt Amos says recovery is expected to be slow and methodical.
As individuals are recovered from the site, they'll undergo decontamination before being transported to the Cowlitz County Coroner's Office for identification and family notification.
America is listening to Fox News.
President Trump is dismissing a question posed by a reporter that a proposed deal with Iran would allow Iran and Oman to control the Strait of Hormuz.
If they would like to control it, nobody's going to control it. It's international waters. And
President adding Oman, a U.S. ally, had better behave. The Supreme Court has received an emergency appeal from Alabama officials as they look to use a Republican-leaning map for the midterm elections. Officials have appealed a ruling from a federal court that blocked Alabama from using a congressional map that would help the GOP in the race. Alabama has asked for the Supreme Court to make the decision by Monday. The Justice Department is being sued by former President Joe Biden in an attempt to block the release of audio recordings and transcripts from interviews with his biographer. The lawsuit filed yesterday in federal court seeks to stop the department from releasing the materials to the House Judiciary Committee and the Conservative Heritage Foundation next month. I'm Jim Roop.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A secret hoard of 1926 $10.
YouTube viewers, thank you. If you are watching, thank you very much for your looking at the Uncle Henry Show. I appreciate that very, very much. Let me bring it up on the desktop and take a look. Hello to Reagan Girl. Thank you for looking. Excalibur One Force Chuck Greer. Pat Nelly. Cynthia Phillips. Hello to you. Art TN6TS. I did not graduate from Fairhope or Murphy. I did not go to either school. But I've driven by them. The Love Freak 69. Hello to you. Thank you for looking in on the program. All right. Got to go back on the radio on this lovely Wednesday.
On the ground, anything like that, that's it, man. It's game over.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton. Weekdays at 11 on News Radio 710 WNTM.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. You can also hear me on FM radio, playing country music on 95 KSJ. I'm on from 10 to 2, Monday through Friday. Tomorrow, I'll have another chance for you to win tickets to see Zach Top. Zach Top is bringing his cold beer and country music tour to the Wharf in Orange Beach. He's got a concert Friday, June 12th. That is sold out. They've added another concert Saturday, June 13th. Tomorrow, I will have your chance to win tickets to see Zach Top, Saturday, June 13th. Your chance to win comes tomorrow at 11:15. That's 11:15 tomorrow on 95 KSJ. Now, also, I think I'm going to be on Fox 10, Studio 10 tomorrow. Between 10 and 10:30 in the morning, talking about upcoming weekend events. That is tomorrow on Fox 10 Studio 10. I'll be on TV with either Joe Emer or Lee Peck. Very exciting. Either way, it'll be very exciting. I'm old enough that being on broadcast television, I still find very exciting. Now, I know to modern people, the young people of today, anybody can be on anything because we all have cameras on our phones and we all have access to YouTube and TikTok and all those other demonic social medias. And so it's no big deal to the young person to be on TV. But to me, as an older American, it's still exciting to go into a TV station and go get on the TV. So looking forward to that tomorrow, sometime between 10 and 10:30 on Studio 10. Now, I mentioned I'll be talking about weekend events. iHeartMedia goes on Fox 10 every Thursday, and we give a rundown of what is coming up to do on the Gulf Coast over the weekend. And there's an event that is happening in Mobile. What night is it? It is Saturday night in Mardi Gras Park. That event, Saturday night in Mardi Gras Park in Mobile, is called Gulf Coast Grooves, where they're going to have live music for you in Mardi Gras Park. That is one of the things that I'll be mentioning tomorrow. Now, I got a voicemail about this event. Let me see if I can find the voicemail and share it with you. 69-year-old Chris saw this on Facebook.
Roll Tide, Uncle. Sitting here scrolling through the Facebook, and I seen this website on there. It's hold on just a minute. Downtown Mobile Today, and there's a column on there about a band wanting to perform here for the Mardi Gras Park on Saturday, May the 30th.
Right, so that is Saturday night, May the 30th, Mardi Gras Park.
By the name of, what is it here? Letters to Cleo. They're from Boston.
All right, so there's a band called Letters to Cleo that is going to be playing.
By the name of, what is it here? Letters to Cleo. They're from Boston. And they're wanting $26,700, and the council has voted to lay over the vote. They're not going to vote on it now for 1 week. But all 5 band members have got a picture of them sitting on this couch, and every one of them is flipping off the camera. I mean, come on, man. Check that out, brother.
All right. 69-year-old Chris, thank you for alerting me. But Letters to Cleo are performing. They are going to be performing, even though there was a photograph of them flipping off a camera. The performances Saturday night in downtown Mobile will be by Easy Star All-Stars and Letters to Cleo. So, and I don't know, you mentioned a dollar amount. I just, look, I know that in these days and times, people expect the government to entertain them. I'm sure nobody objects to tax dollars going to bands to play in Mardi Gras Park so that Mobilians can go sit and be entertained. But see, that's why I could never be involved in local politics. People would be so upset with me if I were involved, if I were on a city council, if I were a mayor of any town, because I would be the one to say, I'm sorry, we're not going to spend money entertaining the citizens until the streets are completely pothole free everywhere. That's just the way it should be. That's the way it should be. There should be no infrastructure needs at all. Every street should have a sidewalk. Every neighborhood should have adequate drainage. All streets should be perfectly passable with no potholes at all. Once that's achieved, then I would consider maybe using the tax dollar for entertainment. And if I were voting on using the tax dollar for entertainment, it would be something like for 4th of July, Independence Day fireworks and stuff like that. It would not be, I would not be out hiring bands. Let's hire a band. The public wants to be entertained. That's just why I could never be involved in government. Now I understand in 2026, the taxpayer, they expect to be entertained. I'm surprised we don't have parades at least once a month in this town. And I know that may sound weird to you, but I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if that would happen in the future. The city, we've already decided to change the name of the Wave buses to Second Line Transit. And whenever there's a really big event with out-of-towners, they try to find a way to do some type of Mardi Gras-style parade in downtown Mobile to give people a taste of what it's like. Eventually, it'll be monthly, if not more frequently. I'm surprised the city hadn't already got their own. I'm surprised they haven't bought permanent floats just so they can have their own. Just it's time for a parade. Let's put one on. I'm surprised. Think of that as one of my predictions for the future in Mobile. I'm not going to predict that we'll get a bridge built, but I predict that at some point in the next 20 years, it won't be just Mardi Gras. It'll be a monthly thing. It'll be a monthly thing, parading, because taxpayers want to be entertained. They want to be entertained. People are still complaining that there's no Bayfest. Wouldn't be surprised to see that get revived, simply because modern people, they want the government to take care of them. They don't want just streets and police and fire. They want a little extra cash from the government. They want to be entertained. It'll all happen. I'm surprised there's not a government streaming service. Have you wondered why there is? I'm surprised our own government doesn't have some type of streaming service. We've had PBS for years. I'm surprised that, look for that. I'll predict that coming up in a future Democrat presidency. They'll go ahead and make some special government streaming service. I don't know if there'll be good movies. I know they'll be nasty, though. All right, there's more Uncle Henry Show to come after the break here on News Radio 710 WNTM.
We're still watching several problem spots. We have an accident in Mobile. I-65 northbound, milepost 6, just past Moffett Road. 2 lanes of traffic are blocked. And an accident still working. This is north of the area. I-65 southbound on the Delta Bridges in Baldwin County. And we still have an accident in Mobile on Alabama 59 and Hammond Street. A crash in Escambia County with injuries. Bauer Road at Lillian Highway. And with Time Saver Traffic, I'm Angie Brolier.
Angie Brolier. All right, back in a commercial break, looking at the YouTube people. I do appreciate you looking in on YouTube. So I guess if I want people to call the Uncle Henry Show, I need to talk about UFOs. So if you watch tomorrow, anticipate more hot UFO talk. Anticipate that for tomorrow's show in order to just, I do enjoy, if I'm going to do a live show, I enjoy when people call in. $69-year-old Chris, why will I talk about UFOs? I don't understand the question. While I'm waiting for clarification, let me see if I can find some things to tell you about. Art, where did I graduate? Have I ever said that I graduated? All right, let me see. What can I tell you about? Let's see, in Nebraska, Scottsbluff, Nebraska, a woman had to be hospitalized after being shot by a dog. Police were called to a local gas station to investigate what turned out to be a woman shot in the arm by a shotgun blast that came from a truck with a camper van attached. The investigation revealed the gunshot was the result of a dog moving from one side of the truck to another. The shotgun was also in the truck. The dog stepped on the trigger while making its move. The blast went through the door of the truck and into the arm of the victim. Now, no word in the story about was there a human in the truck with the dog. I'm assuming there was a human somewhere. But woman shot by dog. All right, let's see. In Japan, they have a new electronic contraption on display at electronic stores in Tokyo. It cost $380,000. It is a human washing machine. You sit inside of it, the lid comes down and seals you in, and then jet streams of microbubbles clean you. It is like a car wash for human beings. This is for people that can't go through the trouble of cleaning themselves. Oh, I'm back on the radio here in about 20 seconds.
I started the Rogue Recap because I wanted to talk about things I just wasn't hearing. So join me on my podcast, Rogue Recap with Linda McLaughlin, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Can't wait to see you there.
Available everywhere with the iHeartRadio app. Now #1 for podcasting. This is News Radio 710 WNTN, an iHeartRadio station.
Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710 WNTM. It is 5:50. We have news headlines coming up in 10 minutes from Fox News. After that, I'm going to be interviewing a man that is working for History.com and the History Channel. His name is Michael McBride, and he has a new, he's done a bunch of new history videos for History.com about, the title of his videos are Mistakes That Made America. Mistakes That Made America, and it's about inventions that originally people thought that it was a failure, and it turns out that their failure turned into a great invention of a different kind, something they had not intended to invent. So anyway, that is coming up after the news. More Uncle Henry Show in the 6 p.m. hour here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Let me see. I've got a voicemail that I want to go to that relates to recent news items.
Hey, it's Pat Nelly. Hope you're having a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Hey, listen. Does it seem to you that trains keep hitting cars, or cars keep getting hit by trains more than you ever can remember in recent history?
Now, I'm pausing there to say, yes, I've noticed this quite a bit. In fact, because of the Amtrak coming to town, paid more attention to trains. I live in Midtown Mobile, and once Amtrak started up, I noticed that the train activity around where I live has dropped to near zero. We used to get trains several nights a week, and now I can't remember the last time a train came through. But on the flip side of that, yes, I've noticed that in the last several months we've had more and more vehicles and people getting hit by trains.
By trains more than you ever can remember?
Yes.
In recent history?
Yes.
Yeah, it seems that way to me too. Well, what's going on, is for years people have gotten used to freight trains, which have a maximum speed in our area of about 60 miles an hour, and they probably only run 50 or 55.
Okay.
Now, a passenger train can run up to 80. There's a lot of difference in that speed,
Okay.
And if you've been judging old paw train coming down the track, you've been running over them crossings all your life, beating that freight train.
Yeah.
Well, you got a passenger train coming at you almost 30 miles an hour more, and you ain't judged the correct distance. That's the reason why you're getting your blank wiped out.
Oh, okay.
Anyways,
hey, and Pat Nelly or someone claiming to be him. I appreciate you explaining that. The fact that the passenger train's going faster than the traditional freight trains.
And you're blank wiped out. Anyways, that's what I think about it, and it's probably what's happening, and people need to be educated, I guess. These passenger trains run a lot quicker than a freight train. I hope you have a great afternoon. Welcome back. Check with me before you leave again, because I have no life. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, roll! Pat Nelly or someone claiming to be Pat Nelly, thank you very much for your voicemail about the trains because it is, as I said, I've been thinking about them a lot because I don't hear them the way I used to in the neighborhood. And I, like you, noticed all the news stories of vehicles and human beings being hit by trains lately. And yeah, more education is needed. People need to understand what you've said and also just be a little bit more careful these days around those train tracks. All right, just about out of time for this half hour of Uncle Henry Show. If you want to listen back to some of the recent Uncle Henry shows, they are available as podcasts. You can go to the iHeartRadio app and look up Uncle Henry Show in the app, and you can find all those episodes. You can also set a preset in the app, just like a preset on a car radio, and that way you can find the Uncle Henry Show every time you go to the app very easily, or you can just set a preset for the radio station and find the station very easily there on the iHeartRadio app. But when you look it up, make sure you add the word show to Uncle Henry, because there's a bunch of other Uncle Henrys out there in the world. One of them, I think, makes music for like 5-year-olds. Uncle Henry Show on the iHeartRadio app. And there's more show coming up after the news break. We're going to talk about mistakes that made America. That's coming up after the news break.
Fox on Tech.
A California jury found that Meta and YouTube harmed a young girl with addictive features that led to mental health issues. Many are hoping this will open the gates to many more lawsuits and for bipartisan calls to change or let lapse Section 230. Section 230 has been around for 30 years and shields.
YouTube viewers, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I'm honored that you would look. I wish I had more to say that was pertinent to our lives. I'll work on that and UFO talk. For tomorrow, I'll be here tomorrow at the regular time. Have a pleasant evening and a pleasant tomorrow.
Some of those efforts have faced intense pushback from industry groups that argue ending 230 could lead to censorship. With Fox on Tech, Connor Hansen, Fox Business.
Hey, now we're in beach season, and when you're on your way to the beach, pick up everything you need for a fun trip at Greer's. Uncle Henry